Boom, boom, boom. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. How is everybody doing today so far? How is everybody doing today so far? Talk to me, guys. How you guys doing? Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I know you guys are taking a lot of time out of your day to be here, so that does not go unnoticed. That does not go, or I do not take that lightly. We have so many of us who are jumping in after work to go over something that we've been developing behind the scenes for a while now. So basically, we are working on the blueprint to sales. So as a contractor, many of us go through the ups and downs of how do I sell? How do I find work? And there's a lot of contractors, a lot of things online where they're like, you need a sales team, you need to do this with the ads, you need to do this. And at times it can be frustrating. So that's what today's live is all about. We're here to give you the tools, we're here to give you the resources that you need to effectively handle sales. And that can be difficult, especially when it comes to the skilled trades. Why is that? It's because typically we're in a reactive industry. Whenever I think about sales, I don't ever remember or feel like I'm selling to a customer. In the sense where somebody calls me and they say, my light is out, my switch is broken, I want a pool, I want a generator. A lot of us go thinking, cool, let me go fix that job. Let me go fix that issue, right? But what do we end up seeing? A lot of these things are homeowners asking for our assistance. We didn't need to sell anything. The light's already broken. We're not trying to add on to the sale. If someone's lights don't work, if a breaker's stripped, if an outlet's fried up, if we are wiring up a new outlet, they are coming to us. That's like if you're going to McDonald's and you ask somebody, hey, can I get a number one? Did the cashier sell to you, or did you make an order? That's typically what we see when it comes to contracting. A lot of the times people are making orders. People are ordering from us. We're not actually selling anything. And that's where things can get very, very, very confusing, because we want to make sure that we understand what a sale is, but at the same time, how to handle that conversation with a homeowner. So that's why I have tonight, we're going to be going over together my sales script. And the reason why we developed this is because within the last 2 weeks, I don't know what's going on. If there's something going on in the industry, I want to hear from you guys. So if you guys are electrical contractors, comment down below, please. Comment down below. We have this video on YouTube. We have this getting recorded on live on Facebook and Instagram. So if you yourself is a contractor, if you are an electrical contractor and this is making sense to you, for example, when it comes to sales, comment down below what state you're in. What state are you in? What state are you having your business in? And do you have a sales team? The reason why this is so valuable, the reason why this needs to be discussed is, once again, as a reminder, we are typically reactive. People come to us to make an order. Or if you have developers, if you're working on custom homes, if you're working on projects, you get an invitation to bid. They're not inviting you to pitch to them. You understand? So you have to very well know the circumstance that you're in. You have to understand your surroundings, because you're not selling if you're there to bid. You're giving a price based off of your scope of work, based off of your numbers, and they're going to accept you or not. Selling is taking a proactive step on offering services to someone who may not know and or need or want your services right now. So sales is a verb. Invitation to a bid is an invitation. All right? Sometimes you have to take a step back and just say, what scenario is this? And that's why we broke it down right here for our Build Association members, our basic 7 steps from basically, why do we do this, the scope of work, all the way out to close out, secure, walk away with your check. And this is what I've been using for the last 6 months. I've been documenting it since we've been working with Jobber. Basically, the introduction of all of this is going to be found here and why we do this. So residential, we're going to narrow down the niche because we understand there's commercial, there's custom. We understand there's a whole net of different types of services that you guys can be offering. We're going to start singular with residential because it applies as a foundation across the board. So why does this matter? Residential sales must follow an order of operation, just like anything in life. Just like when you're building a house, you can't wire up before the framing goes up. And you can't frame a structure without a clear foundation. The same principle applies to sales. You have to understand the scope first, demonstrate the respect, then filter out customers, educate, and close out the sale. Let me say that one more time. Understand the scope. Display respect. Filter the customer or the customers, the leads, educate, and close out. How are we going to break this down? What does that actually mean for each one of us? Let's jump into it. The scope of work. Remember what we talked about. You go to McDonald's, and my favorite thing is the Big Mac meal. Is that the cashier selling me, or am I making an order? Think about it. You can say it's a restaurant business. You need sales, but at the end of the day, they're taking an order. Do you know what is a sale, though? What is a sell? Would you like to supersize that? Would you like 3 cookies for 99 cents? They're now selling you something added on. You see where we're going at? One's an order. Someone can make an order with you. That's fine. Are you going to capitalize and take advantage of a sell already knowing that you're there? Remember, the easiest person to sell to, the easiest person to make business off of is someone you already done business for. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. If someone's going to order from you, I have an emergency. Here. Awesome. Let's fix that pain point. Let's find them a solution. Develop that trust. Have an add-on sale afterwards. 3 cookies for 99 cents. Do you want to supersize that? You know, or I know they don't do supersize, so sorry about that. You want to make this an extra large. You see where I'm getting at? So let's understand, first step, the scope of work. Identify what type of call is this. I break this down into 3 areas. Emergency calls, residential service calls, and residential projects. So these 3 things, emergency, service call, they are 100% reactive. So when you understand the scope of work, you're basically learning what position does the homeowner have. If a homeowner burns down their entire house because of an electrical fire, and you're there to scope it out, she doesn't have the luxury to negotiate. She needs her home back up and running. They lost power. They need it back up. She has no leverage. So that's where you, as a contractor, come in. A residential service call, let's say a breaker tripped, an outlet don't work. It's annoying, but it's not life-threatening. It's not, pain point is not a 10 out of 10. The last is project planning and preventative maintenance. Those are I'm thinking about having an addition in 6 months to a year. Or I may want to add a pool in the backyard, right? The pain point is very low. What does that mean? She's asking everybody and her mother for a price. And guess what? You're competing in that. So depending on the scope of work is going to speak on the sense of urgency that homeowner has. And then you have to tailor your approach. For example, if it's an emergency, reactive, homeowner is freaking out. Her pain point is 10 out of 10. Customers have less leverage. They want results. They don't want prices. Just get it done. Boom. Residential service calls. They're still reactive. A light went out. That's annoying, but it's not an emergency. Pain point, 6 out of 10. Customer has some room to shop. Now, if that light or the outlet's busted or they lost Wi-Fi and they work from home, you can bump up that urgency because they need to stay connected, right? Residential project planning or preventative maintenance. Customer has the maximum amount of leverage. Shopping is common. They're going to ask everybody for your price. They're going to shop around. They're going to talk to multiple GCs, which will have multiple teams, multiple electricians. Preventative maintenance. If you want to sell a maintenance plan, when's the best time to do that? After they buy the unit or you incorporate that price into the unit. If you're just going door to door just to start selling a maintenance plan, first of all, maintenance plans are like $15, $20 a month. And then you're coming out cold calling most people for a maintenance plan. So guess what? Time is 100% on the homeowner because guess what? People don't see the value in maintenance plans. They don't. The only time they see value in maintenance plans is after a bad incident, after they have to do an emergency call, preventive maintenance call, or that package. It's those 3 cookies for $1 after you already bought the Big Mac. You see where I'm getting at? You have to understand these different levels of scope of work so that you know how to go about communicating with the homeowner. Now, that pain point that they're experiencing is going to tell you how to react. So we went over scope of work. That's number 1. Step number 2, demonstrate respect. When it comes to residential, when it comes to sales, you have to understand, and a lot of you do, a lot of you take pride, a lot of you look presentable, take care of yourselves, you wear booties, make sure you guys are clean cut when you show up. A lot of you guys are already showing the respect. That's already granted. A few of you in your company policy, company models have respect in your name. Like for example, Figs, I know a big part of his is respect. You want to respect the homeowner. So then when it comes to sales, you have to understand the place of where you're working. You're showing them respect by knowing that this is where they raise their kids. This is where they have their cats. This is where they're going through losses together with their family. This is where maybe they want to start a family. They're having kids. A lot of the drama people deal with, they let it all out at their home. So at the end of the day, the primary focus of someone's home is their most prized possession. Renting or living in, their home is their prized possession. They don't want to leave that up for anything. So what do we have to do? You have to, right off the bat, show that their place of living, their family, their safe haven, their safety net is always going to be treated with respect. That's how you have to view it. So once you understand what type of scope of work, you always demonstrate respect. Why is that? Because a home is not just wood, it's not just walls, it's not just wires. It's where family lives, grows, pets plays, memories are made, families are started, families end. But what's going to happen? You're always going to demonstrate this respect for everybody. Remember, one thing you can always say, and I've been saying that in all of my sales calls, and all of my quotes, and all of our invoices, we always start the sentence off, we respect this project to the full. We respect this project to the full. They understand that, hey, I'm not going to risk this job, this reputation, this relationship off of anything other than respect. Now, after you establish that relationship, now that you establish that respect with the homeowner, after understanding their scope of work, now this is where you, as the company owner, you as the contractor, have to start filtering these customers out. You have to filter them out. You have to recognize that, hey, this person is not the job for me. Remember, you can respectfully decline a job as well. Let's say you go to a house and they don't care about it. It's a pigsty. And you're like, what the heck is going on over here? You can respect the homeowner. You can respect the home and just say, this is not my type of job. Filter them out. You don't have to take every job out there. Now, if funds are tight, if opportunities are low, you have to do what you have to do. You have to take what you're going to get. You have to do what you have to do to stay in the ring for another day, another week, another month. Remember, it's all compounding. It's all snowballing. And you never know. The people with the crappiest house, you may think they're not going to pay me, are the ones with the cash to pay you. The ones with the money, with the nice house, with this and this, they may take a week or two to pay you. So at the end of the day, you just don't know. But what you have to do is start filtering these people out. How do you filter out customers? How do you filter out the wrong customers? Remember in the beginning of the year, we started talking about character, trust, vision, work ethic, skill set. These 5 qualities. I have now officially kicked people out in my personal life, business life, company life, based off of those 5 qualities. And guess what? Work ethic and skill set are last. I don't care how long you've been working. I don't care how good you say you are at what you do. I just don't care. I'm focused on character, trust, vision. If you are a man of character, if you have trust, or I'm trustworthy to you, or I can see, you trust me, and you have vision, you see down the road, I see where this is going, I support that. Or you have your own vision, those are individuals I'm working with. I'm not working with anybody who's looking day to day just for a quick buck. I don't care. Those are not my people. I don't work with anybody like that. And the same applies to customers. I don't care how big of a job. I don't care how impressive this type of job is going to look like on my resume. If they can't pay on time, if they can't see or lead this job to completion, if it's just going to fail, or if I don't trust that the homeowners or the customer is going to pay. You understand? It can be working for this enormous company, nationwide brand, and if they don't pay you, if they're not communicating with you, why am I going to do this and not get paid and get just strung along? So once again, work ethic and skill set does not matter when it lacks character, trust, and vision. How do you find character, trust, and vision when it comes to a client, you may be asking? You have to filter them out by asking the right questions. What's the easiest way to turn off a customer? You and I both know that. How much for a ceiling fan? $300. That's too high. Goodbye. They're gone. A lot of people say, hey, I do not give prices over the phone because people just leave. I do what I can to get a site visit. And I support that 100%. The best way to handle a lot of these things is to show up at the house. But they're not going to let you come to the house and then charge for a site visit if they don't understand what's going on. So you have to create that script. You have to sell yourself on the site visit. Once you sell yourself on the site visit and you get a small deposit, the chances of them working with you jump from 20% to 80% because they already gave you some money. They're already invested into you. You see where I'm getting at? The simple fact that they invested into you is going to show you that they may be willing to pay the full price, or at least you gave them a nice educated guess on what the price is going to be. So what does that sell? What does that sale? What does that quote look like? When somebody calls me, I tell them the price. Let me tell you that one more time. When someone calls me and say, how much for this? I tell them. I don't give the exact number because we both know anything can be an issue. What I personally do is I say, once again, good morning, hello, my name's Will, I'm with Energize Us, For a typical, we hear that you're calling for some more information. I never say, hey, you want to get a job done? So I never go down that route. I tell them, hold up, did I lose camera? Or am I still live? I think I'm still live. Am I? I think so. We'll just keep going. Either way, if you guys are, I think the live ended. Are you guys still on? Are we still ticking? I think we're good. All right, my bad, guys. Sorry, the camera on my end glitched up. I think my screen just went tonight. Sorry about that, guys. But at any point, if you guys want to replay this, Energize Us Edu, we're streaming it live also. So after this live ends, it's also going to be recorded. So at any point, feel free to jump back on to YouTube, like, subscribe, just so you guys can follow along. Okay, guys? So sorry about that. So let's go back. What does that sales call look like? So when a customer calls me, we say, hello, thank you for calling Energize Us. My name is Will. I'm going to be helping with you. We have a request that you're looking for some more information about, let's say, a ceiling fan. Always start with, you're looking for information. I'm a big component of educating the customer. If you educate a customer, they are more likely to understand the vision of what you're trying to say. Remember, what do contractors typically do? I've been doing this for 30 years, right? Guess what? Nobody goes into a meeting, no one goes to an estimate, no one goes to a homeowner saying, oh, I do half-ass work. I'm the second best. Everybody's going to say they're the best. Everybody's going to act like they have all the answers. That is sales for a contractor. They say the same thing. You're no different from anyone else. You understand that? That's what everybody does. Everybody and their mother acts like they're the best contractor out there. Like no one else is going to have issues. Nobody goes in saying, I do half-ass work. So when you go and get a lead or you go get a proposal, you tell them, hello, I'm here because I heard you want some more information about a install. Information? Well, I would love some information. Well, this is typically what's involved in this type of install. Let's all say a ceiling fan. For the typical price of a ceiling fan, just so you're aware of, the starting price, not the price itself, the starting price starts around $250. What are you going to hear from the customer? Oh, that's too difficult. In my head, flag number one, they're not for me. Because that means they're telling you right now they can't pay it. Now, do you want to keep doing a sales tactic and try to make them and, you know, hey, what if we do this? You have to now go to the next level. Is it too much for them? Or is it too much of a price for them to pay all up front? Remember, we have promotional pricing. We also have payment plans. If you can't pay in 1 month, hey, we'll send it down and we'll break it down into 2 payments for 2 months. Guess what? Then they can move on with you. You understand? But the first layer is to give them that information. What if it's completely out of their budget? You can't force someone to pay something that they physically have no money for. Guess what? Then you end up doing the job and then they can't pay you because they don't have it in the budget. You have to understand, sales can only go as far as someone's budget. If it's literally a money issue and they can't pay it, they can't pay it, bro. You got to understand that. You got to make it readily accessible. If it has a payment plan, then awesome, offer that. But if they're already saying the price is too high, they're looking for a handyman. They're looking for someone else to do it, not you. That should be a red flag. But I say The starting price is $250. But here's the thing, Mr. Smith, I respect you. We go back to the respect. I respect you too much to just give you a price over the phone. Why? Because let's say I take the ceiling fan down and there's not a ceiling fan rated box. I'm going to have to now charge another $50 to install the ceiling fan rated box. And you may not like the price afterwards. So I'm going to come to your home, check out the job for $75. I'll give you a full breakdown so there's no hidden costs. And guess what? That $75 you pay me goes to the final invoice. So if the job does need a ceiling fan box and it becomes $300, you only have to pay $225 when we finish the install. Does that sound fair to you? What did I just did? I gave the homeowner all the information he needs to come up with a good price point. But guess what? I didn't give my price. He can't shop around with my number because I said it starts at $225. It starts at $250. Hey, if there's a ceiling fan rated box, it's maybe another $50. But I gave him enough information to let him know how much is it going to cost without giving him a number where he can now call another electrician and say, hey, he told me it's going to be $300. Oh, I'll do it for $250. Oh, I'll do it for $200. He doesn't have that information to now shop around. But you got a $75 site visit out of it if he says yes. And guess what? If he says no to that, if he says no to the site visit, I'm okay with losing that customer. Filter these people out. You see where I'm getting at, right? How many of us have been in contracting, have said, I'm going to come do a site visit for free, a free estimate? How many of us scheduled a job and we're on our way to the job and they cancel on us while we're already driving there? We wasted time. We wasted that slot because we got to take in another job. And we now wasted gas driving to a job and they canceled on us. Why? Because there was no site visit covered. At the minimum, at least you would have had a full tank of gas and your time. That's why we have to filter customers, guys. The next is vision. You just saw that in the part of the estimate. We respect you too much, right? Educate the customer. Now it's vision. Customers are always going to shop around. Why? Because they want multiple prices, because they need to choose from. Once again, contractors always say the same thing. What's going to separate you from your competitors? How can you show that? You have to show vision. You have to show them going with you is better than the other option. And guess what? You just saying you're the best isn't going to cut it. Does that make sense, guys? You saying you're the best is not going to make them trust you and just work with you. You have to give them something to look forward to. That's why when you go to the house, you explain the ceiling fan, the box, all these different components of what's going to make your job more reliable, make your job understand what you're going to, and then you explain that to the homeowner, you educate them. Guess what? They can see a future with you, especially after you they give you that deposit and you're already at their house. You give them a nice vision, a roadmap on how to complete this job. Hey, this is going to be the quote. This is going to be an additional deposit to get the material. This is what it's going to take 2 to 3 days with the scheduling, And guess what? At the end of this thing, we send you the bill, net 7 days, and we look forward to closing this job out. And hey, if we do this today, we have 7 days where this job is going to be complete. Or if we sign up today, we start your project next week after we get the permits pulled and everything. You have to show them the vision. What do contractors say? They just say, yep, because they want that deposit. They want that 50%. I know in some states you can't receive a deposit like that, but in most parts, contractors say, yep, I can start soon, They overpromise, underdeliver. Remember, no soft skills. If you are actually going to sell, if you're actually going to sell yourself, always on character, trust, and vision. So that leads us to our next and final stop, close out, secure, walk away. You explained everything. You built that trust. You built that vision. You built character. You showed them that you're trustworthy, not by words, but by the whole process of you're going to handle someone. They sign the contract. Now you got and close the sale. You get the deposit, or you schedule you send the deposit and payment just to do a site visit. You get the deposit for 50% of the job. You name it. Whatever you do, you close out the job, and you make sure this is where character comes in. You do what's right even when no one's looking. At this point is your character development. What type of business are you going to run? Are you going to show the good? You're going to show that you're handling all the conversations. You're showing that you're responding timely. Make sure that you don't mess up, because what's the worst thing? Sales guys got the reputation. They just push a sale, and then they leave you all on your own. This is where it's ultimately going to define the character and the type of person you are. Are you going to nurture that relationship? So, as a summary, what is the order of operation? The scope of work, the urgency, the pain point of the customer. Remember, ordering is not sales, but you can add a sale if someone takes an order from you. Always demonstrate respect right off the bat. Filter out your customers. Educate your customers by building that trust and displaying that vision. Close out the job, close out the sale, and now develop your character for that customer, working towards retention of that customer. So everybody, appreciate you guys for sticking with us. This is the blueprint to sales as contractors in the residential sector. I appreciate each and every one of you joining us and staying with us. If you found value in this, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below. If you guys want to review this, it's going to be on Energize Us Edu on YouTube. So feel free to go check it out. Feel free to let me know your comments down below. I want to hear from you guys. Test this out. If you guys want more information on this, these worksheets, we have 4 PDFs about sales. Not only do you get this, we also have our lesson plan. We also have our sales script on how to communicate when a customer gives you one of these objections. The price is too high. I got to talk to my wife. I got to see what my schedule is. Oh, can you start sooner? Can you lower your price? All these different objections that we get every single day is available for you on our BULD, our Build Association. Right now, we have 35 members across the United States. If you are looking to take your electrical contracting business to that next step, to understand what's really going on behind closed doors, to really build your business to the way that you know is possible, I would love to get the opportunity to meet you. I would love the opportunity to get to see how, if we are the right fit for you. Remember, we want to help you establish everything that you're doing already. We want to be that complement for you. We respect the work that you guys do, and we truly want to be a tool, a resource, a complement to your business. So at any point you feel valued, you feel the value of this lesson, feel free to send me a DM. We'll schedule a call, right? I'll do a site visit, and at that point we can see if we're a right fit for each other. But all in all, happy Thursday, everybody. Have a good evening. Please rest up. Feel free to send me a message if you guys have any other questions, comments, and or concerns. But thank you once again for joining us on the blueprint to sales for the residential sector for you guys who are contractors. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye.